Hello, good day everyone. My name is Joselito Rex Zapanta and I'm here to provide a presentation on the triple integrals in cylindrical and spherical coordinates as a presentation on the foundation of calculus, and this is a group presentation. So my topic is restricted only in the spherical coordinates and specifically in choosing limits for the integration and to provide a few examples on the spherical coordinates using triple integrals. Okay, so in choosing a limit for the integration of spherical coordinates, so we need first to consider a situation in which the region of integration must have this form. The set D is equals to is a set containing a rho, a phi, and a theta, where the rho is between the functions g of phi and theta and h of phi and theta, and they are greater, and it is the rho is greater than or equals 0. And the phi here is an angle bounded from A to B inclusive, and also the theta is also an angle bounded by alpha and theta inclusive. So we have here the illustration. So in other words, D is bounded in the raw direction by two surfaces given by G and H. In the angular directions, the region lies between two cones. So we have here the phi is between A and B, and two half planes. The theta is bounded from alpha and beta. So we see in figure 13.59. So for this type of region, the inner integral is with respect to rho, no? So which varies from rho equals g of p theta to rho equals h of phi and theta. So these two functions for g and h are just surfaces, no? As uh, what we have mentioned from the previous slide. So rho is between the functions g of phi and theta and h of phi and theta. So as we can see here in the illustration, so this surface is the h, the function h, and this surface here is the function g, which is represented as this parameter rho. Moreover, as rho varies between these limits, as what we have illustrated earlier, so imagine letting theta and phi vary over the intervals between A and B, and also the theta varies, or it is bounded by alpha and beta. So for the phi, we can see here in the illustration, the phi here equals A, so that is the its uh, lower limit. No, we can see the region being illustrated, being shown as a cone here, and also the phi equals b. So we can see here a wider cone here, and also the theta, no, is also represented by this region right here, and also the beta by this region around here. So we notice that since our integration here uh, is with respect to three parameters, the rho, the phi, and the theta, we notice that the middle and the outer integrals with respect to theta and phi because the rho is the inner integral. So this may be done in either order. So we can integrate first with respect to phi and later with respect to theta, or the other way around. So in this figure, in figure 13.60, so we can integrate first in rho with g of phi and theta. A rho is bounded by the function g of phi and theta, and the function h of phi and theta. While on the second figure on the right, so we can see that then we integrate in either phi and theta, whichever comes first between the two, with the bounds, the lower and upper bounds being at phi bounded at a to b, and theta being bounded at alpha and beta. So to put it simply and to summarize the procedure in performing this triple integral for spherical coordinates, so to integrate over all points of D, so we proceed as follows. So the first is we integrate it with respect to rho from rho equals g of phi and theta to rho equals h of phi and theta. So the result in general is a function of phi and theta. Second, after we integrate it in the after we first integrate the inner integral with respect to rho, so we need to integrate with respect to phi from phi equals a to phi equals b. So again, the steps 2 and 3, phi and the theta can interchange, but for this specific procedure, no, we can assume that we begin always at phi. So the result in general is a function of phi. This is if we integrate, we consider the phi as your middle integral. Finally, so we integrate with respect to phi because the function given is with respect to theta. So we integrate it with respect to theta. And this is from, theta is from alpha to theta equals beta. The result is always a real number. This will now be the area bounded by those three parameters, the rho, the phi, and the theta, where the phi and the theta are angles. So another version of Fubini's theorem expressed the triple integral as an iterated integral. So introducing this topic as a theorem, the theorem 13.7, we name it the triple integrals in spherical coordinates, and it states that letting f be a continuous function over the region D, where D is a set containing the parameters rho, phi, and theta, where rho is bounded between g of phi and theta and h of phi and theta and is greater than or equals 0. The parameter phi is bounded between a and b, and the parameter theta is bounded from alpha and beta. Then f is integrable over d, and the triple integral of f over d in spherical coordinates is given by the triple integral of f of rho, phi, and theta, rho squared times sine of rho, bounded from g of phi and theta to h of phi and theta, a to b, and alpha and beta with respect to rho, phi, and theta. We also note that if the integrand is given in terms of Cartesian coordinates x, y, and z, it must be expressed in spherical coordinates before integrating. As with other integrals, if f equals 1, then the triple integral equals the volume of D. If f is a density function for an object occupying the region D, then the triple integral equals the mass of the object. To apply the theorem 13.7, we have here an example on a triple integral. We evaluate the triple integral of the function x squared plus y squared plus z squared to the negative 3 halves with respect to V, where D is the region in the first octant between two spheres of radius 1 and 2 centered at the origin. We need to simplify first the integrand f and the region D. Since the given function is the expression x squared plus y squared plus z squared raised to negative 3 halves, we then equate it as rho squared raised to negative 3 halves, which is equals rho raised to negative 3 after some application of laws of exponents. So where the region of integration, we will see later in figure 13.61, is the set D containing rho, phi, and theta. And we can see here the lower and upper limits of these parameters. The illustration of the set D along with the illustration of the bounds, the lower and the upper bounds of each of these three parameters. So in figure A, we can see that rho varies from the inner sphere, rho equals 1, to the outer sphere, rho equals 2. So this blue uh, first octant here of a sphere, this is the lower bound of the rho, rho equals 1, and the upper bound being the octant, the second octant of the second sphere being rho equals 2. And this is 1 unit away from the origin and another 2 units away from the origin. This is for the first and the second octant of the two spheres given. While on the figure B, we can see here that the phi varies from phi equals 0 to phi equals pi over 2. So this is the angle. So this is now the angle here. It starts from here, from 0 to phi over 2. It's exactly 90 degrees. While the theta from the x to the positive x to the y-axis is also bounded from 0 to pi over 2. To put it simply, phi refers to the angle between the z uh, axis, while the phi refers to the angle between x to y. Having been informed of the limits of the integral, we can now evaluate the integral function as follows. The triple integral of f of x, y, and z with respect to v is just equals to the triple integral of rho raised to negative 3 and rho squared times sine of phi bounded from 1 to 2 with respect to rho, 0 to pi over 2 with respect to phi, and 0 to pi over 2 with respect to theta. So simplifying this function inside the integral sign, inside the integrand, so we have here the rho of negative 1 using some law of exponents, and we get here the integral of rho of negative 1 is just equals 1 over rho. So that becomes ln of rho. So evaluating it, integrating from 1 to 2 with respect to rho. So we get the result of ln2. For the next step, as we can see, we have just pulling out the constant ln2. So simplifying, so we have here the ln2 of double integral of sine phi from 0 to pi over 2 with respect to phi, and from 0 to pi over 2 with respect to theta. Forming the first integration, we then perform the integration of the middle integral. So the integral of sine of phi is equal to the negative cosine of phi evaluated from 0 to pi over 2, which give us this result. Now, to evaluate the outer integral with respect to theta, we have here the ln2 as the constant, the integral of 1 with respect to theta, integrated from 0 to pi over 2, which will give us this constant value pi times ln2 over 2. So this is now the answer that we're looking for this problem. So having another example for a triple integral for spherical coordinates, we have the ice cream cone example. So finding the volume of the solid region D that lies inside the cone given by the equation phi equals pi over 6, and inside the sphere rho equals 4. So let's look at the figure 13.62a. This is the figure 13.62. As we can see, in figure A, we have here the region of integration, this cone here, and it has an angle of pi over 6. This is now the phi that's given in the problem. In figure B, we can see that the region extends. So ignoring the gray region, so what remains here is the cone. No? So the region extends from the origin at rho equals 0 to the sphere rho equals 4. We can see it here, no? The limits. So rho varies from 0 to 4. We can take note that as our limit for rho. And for the figure C, we can see that the phi varies from 0 to pi over 6, no, as noted here in our problem. And the theta varies from 0 to 2 pi. It is observable, no, based on the given figure. This is a cone, and for all we know, that the parameter theta refers to the angle around the two-dimensional or the abscissa plane, no, between x and y. And so the cone, as you can see, is being limited at or bounded from 0, from the positive x-axis, all the way, rotating it, no, all the way back, not to its original axis. That gives us the limit of 0 to 2 pi. So the theta varies from theta equals 0 to theta equals 2 pi. You can see here, this angle here. So we can also take note of that as our limits for the theta. So the limits of our rho is given from 0 to 4. The limits for our phi is given from 0 to pi over 6. and the limits for our theta is given from theta equals 0 to 2 pi. Now, evaluating the integral and to find the volume, so we evaluate a triple integral with f of rho, phi, and theta equals 1. So in the radial direction, the region extends from the origin rho equals 0 to the sphere rho equals 4 as shown in the figure previously. So to sweep out all the points of D, the phi varies from 0 to pi over 6 and theta varies from 0 to 2 pi as what we have just discussed. Integrating the function f equals 1, the volume of integration becomes this expression. So we have here the simplified form. So 32 over 3 times 2 minus square root of 3. Integrating it. Now this is our outer integral. The times the integral of 1 bounded from 0 to 2 pi with respect to theta. Therefore, so evaluating it, no, outer integral with respect to theta. So we get 64 pi. So we just ignore the lower bounds. It's just 0. So we have our final answer. No? So the volume of the region bounded by these parameters is equal to the constant number 64 pi over 3 times 2 minus square root of 3. That ends my report. Have a good day.